What's up again, guys? This is FJ, and again, this is my new recording setup with my new webcam, and I'm using OBS to record this video. Still in the trial phases, trying to see if I'm happy with it or not. So a number of people have actually been asking me about my selfie stick or my GoPro stick and how I record myself. So I thought I'd do a comparison video with all the different selfie sticks that I've actually tried. I didn't really think I'd ever make a video dedicated to selfie sticks, but here it is. I remember when I actually first started with the whole GoPro thing, and I actually never saw a GoPro stick before. So I thought to myself, how can I record myself better and get myself more range so I can fit in the camera? In my head, I thought, no one ever thought about this before. I felt pretty proud of myself. So I took a monopod. Since I'm a photographer, I have a monopod, and I super glued a GoPro mount to the end of it here. I filed it down a little bit and I used super glue to attach it to this monopod. So I would hold the grip part on the top, and this would be able to extend quite far, pretty far. This is just one of those Dynatran monopods. It served me well for the majority of my first videos. The only issue that I had with this though was the weight. It was very heavy, especially when you were to extend it all the way. It gets very tiring on your forearm and on your wrist as you're trying to record yourself. It took me a little while to get used to it and get good at it so that I can actually record good videos for my YouTube channel. So that's what I started with first. I probably used this for a few years. After some time, I had gone back to the Philippines to visit my family, and when I went to the mall, which was actually back in 2014 March, I went to this restaurant, and it was the first time I had ever seen a selfie stick, one of these guys. This woman was using it to take a photo of herself in the restaurant. I'm sure everyone's seen these now. You got the extendable pole with the attachment there to squeeze on your phone. This is probably the most generic kind of selfie stick that you can find in the market. You can get these online. You can get these at probably any store, really, or any kind of mobile accessory store. It's pretty basic. You've got a tripod screw at the top, 1/4 inch, just tightens on there with the clamp for your phone. This extends a little bit if your phone is bigger than normal. I do find though that it's not quite large enough to fit a Note. If you take your case off your Note, it would just fit. I think you have to remove the back part too, but it's a tight fit. Now, using this selfie stick, I found it to be very lightweight, and the length is actually pretty good for the distance that you get the camera away from you. You need to buy a tripod GoPro mount in order to put the GoPro onto this selfie stick. You just remove the clamp, and then that's where the GoPro goes. So although this was very lightweight and very easy to maneuver and move around, because of the extending mechanism here is purely based on friction. So at the very end it gets really tight, so then it just sort of doesn't even click into place. It's just the very end of the section. Over time, especially with the weight of the camera, and if you're moving around pretty vigorously as you're riding, it tends to rotate on its own along the ends of the sections. So what I found was that as I was trying to originally record myself with the camera on the top, it would rotate down and fall upside down as I'm riding, which is easy to edit in software anyway, but it was just a bit of a nuisance because I wanted the whole perspective to be my upper. So that got a little bit annoying as I was riding. I just found myself always having to adjust the handle in my hand in order to get the camera back upright. Eventually I would only use this stick while I'm recording it with the camera upside down. So if I wanted to, let's say, focus more on the gear, if I want to focus more on the snowboard or my legs, then that's what I would use. What I use nowadays is the Wareway Selfiestick that you can get from Amazon. I'll have the link in the description. Whereas this one was more of the generic type that you can easily find anywhere. The build quality on this is up to par with all the GoPro dedicated poles. Rather than just having the friction on each section, you actually have the clips, just like my monopod. It's a lot thinner profile than the original monopod that I had. You could just see the heft. This is all aluminum and metal, very heavy, and this is Got some probably aluminum alloy in it and a lot of plastic parts, but it is sturdy. It's rigid. It's pretty nice, and you got some foam grip here for your hand, and you can put your hand through here too, just for extra security. So you can see there that I have my GoPro mount, tripod mount screwed on for my GoPro. Similar to the other selfie stick, this has its own clamp as well, and even you can see there too, it's a lot more rugged looking than this guy. Just overall build quality on this selfie stick is a lot better. Any of the GoPro related selfie sticks that you would see out there is probably the same quality. So again, this is the Wareway. Only thing I do wish about this selfie stick is its length. It doesn't quite go as long as my others. So let's just do a quick comparison here. So you can see it's quite a bit longer. You get maybe 9 inches, 8 to 9 inches, maybe even close to a foot. And having that kind of extra distance when you're recording yourself does make a difference with a wide angle lens. You know, it's a lot easier to get your whole body in the shot. That is one thing I do miss about my older selfie sticks, the fact that I could get more of myself in the frame. But trade-off is durability. You run no risk of it rotating on you while you're recording. If you start up, you start bottom, it's just tougher even if you go through bumps. You'll notice too in my videos that as I used this guy in a couple of my recordings, the pole itself, you can see it sort of bending as I'm recording. It's just not as rigid as the one I use now. It doesn't really affect the footage too much. You'll just notice that it's just not quite the same kind of support as the more rigid build of these dedicated GoPro sticks. There you go, guys. My original one that I made with super glue and GoPro mounts. This is probably the most robust. I could probably like use this to swing at something if I was ever being attacked. Self-defense. It's really heavy. It's all metal. I've fallen on boxes actually while I was riding and trying to record myself in the park while using this. So I can attest to the strength. Of course, when I fell too, sometimes the GoPro mount breaks, but the pole was still good. And then the more generic one that you'll see serves a very good purpose. You get a nice long length with the stick. Only thing is the build quality is kind of weak, and over time I'm pretty sure this is all going to loosen to the point of maybe not even being functional anymore. But I would only use this to record if the camera was on the bottom, was on the down, upside down position. So if I'm recording more of my lower half. Nice lightweight though. You can always use it with your phone too if you want to take a selfie. And of course now the one I use the most, because I'm picking up speed and I want to eventually do bigger tricks and, you know, maybe ride even harder terrain, is the Wareway Selfiestick, which is more durable, very similar to the ones you'll find dedicated to GoPro or any kind of recording device like the Contour or things like that. I recommend this one. I just wish maybe if it had like one more section to bring it out to like here, I would really be a big fan of this. And I don't think it would get that much heavier either. Alright guys, thanks. Hopefully you found that video helpful to help you choose your selfie stick for snowboarding or whatever you want to use it for in extreme sports. I've used this in the summertime too, underwater, when I'm swimming in the lake or in the ocean. You do want to just make sure that you wash it after with fresh water so no salt builds up and creates rust on any of the metallic parts or the screws. Again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and you can follow me on my social media feed there at FJ Sarmiento, and you can see all my YouTube channels there at the top. Thanks guys, see you later.